Hi everyone. It's week 3, group dynamics, and I'm talking about all of our readings for this week on inclusion and identity, as well as what my employer does for diversity and inclusion. I really enjoyed this topic this week because I am a first generation Hispanic. My parents were born and raised in Argentina and migrated here in the 70s. And the reading on inclusive workplace sort of confirmed what I already knew. So increased feelings of inclusion are linked to improved org commitment, job satisfaction, and retention. It decreases stress and conflict and employee retention. Employee retention is increased. I'm an HR director and I've been heavily involved in this type of topic. I am convinced that people don't leave a job or a company, they leave their manager or they leave a person. If more companies figure out what getting and enhancing the LMX, they will accomplish more high-performing teams. I was done reading cross-cultural industrial psychology or org behavior, CCIOB. Specifically that there was very little studied over the past 100 years, and that when it was studied, it just studied the culture, not the effects on the personality or groups or relationships or anything like that. The study said this, but I believe this too, that culture is as important as personality. And CCIO/OB, assimilations of individuals from different nations with different attitudes, values, and behaviors into the U.S. organization. So that's sort of what was studied because we're all working in this melting pot. And then managing diversity, psychological safety. I knew what this topic was. I don't know if I could have described it the way the author did, but I have used this in different settings and environments. And it's a simple concept, but it's not an easy concept because if the climate determines safety or is safe, and safety influences individual actions, that is very important. So environment, feelings, and actions are very important. I made a slide, but I think that when I print it, I'm supposed to have it like mirror image. But the environment creates a feeling, which is then acted upon. And usually if it's a good environment, they have good actions, they work above their job description, they stay longer. And if it's a bad feeling, their actions are negative. They leave, they're unhappy, they're not engaged, they're not productive. So in Sociometer helped me understand more broadly the relationship between self-esteem and psychological phenomenon, such as a social self-serving biases and reactions to what other people think of the individual. So basically it's saying that I am going to act a certain way because I want to be included and I want higher self-esteem. And it makes sense to me because the course invited me into a group, and having people like you or like me have feels good. If I was shunned, then I could see how I might feel crappy about myself and wonder what I personally did for people not to like me. And then those negative thoughts lead to negative descriptions of yourself and then lower self-esteem. It reminds me of a personal story when I was in 5th grade and I was walking down the street with fellow classmates, and all of a sudden, the next thing I knew, all of my friends were running away except for me. And I was surprised because I didn't know what all the commotion was, but I also didn't know what they were doing. Then I figured out that they wanted to leave me behind. The happy ending to the story is that my BFF, Christina, stayed by my side. She actually knew that they were running, but she chose to stay with me. So my self-esteem was a little low because they left, and I obviously now still remember it. But it was high because she stayed with me. From a work perspective, the study that says that if an influential person says they like someone, then other people start liking that person too, because surely if the influential person likes them, and we think so highly of them, we should like them too. Conversely, this is what I'm very careful about this, because in HR, if I say something about someone, then it may be taken good or bad, and I don't want to influence someone's career or opinion about somebody else. And this is a lesson I'm trying to teach my young children, not to exclude any friends. So my company is committed to fostering an inclusive work environment. My company wins many awards by the industry and trade associations. Some of the things they do is they provide a flexible work environment, offering technology to allow people to work from home. They offer childcare. They have different affinity groups like the Jewish group, the LGBTQ, that is focused on educating, attracting, and retaining individuals into the company. This would specifically touch upon the psychological safety and sociometer studies that we read about this week. They continue to measure and track hire and promotions of minorities. They partner with local communities to attract employees from the local community, therefore by increasing representation of the environment in which we work. As I listened to Janet Stovall on the video, our company sets aggressive targets and works together to achieve them. So it reminded me of her 1987 plan. I think that was the year. But the diversity program at work is based on a thought leader and author, Dr. Roosevelt Thomas. He was a pioneer in moving the entire field of diversity and inclusion beyond just race and gender. He made it more expansive and also caused it to become a mainstream function within the HR profession. Some of the things we do are monthly celebrations, like celebrating Black History Month or Hispanic Heritage Month. We're considered a military-friendly employee. We have a lot of training on diversity. We have a lot of mandatory compliance trainings on defining and exploring diversity. We also have recognition programs that foster collaboration and reward diversity. Reverse mentoring is a program where millennials mentor Generation X or boomers. And then there's a program that we host, Inroads, and they help inspire next generations. They're a college that provides, they're a college that recruits people so that companies can hire them. So this was such a fun topic. I'm excited for next week, and we'll talk soon.